Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, A Cloud Strategy Crucial to Your Success. First of all, I would like to mention that this webinar will be recorded. Your name, image, or voice will not appear in any publication. My name is Iris Schneider. I am campaign manager at eschbach, and I will be moderating today's webinar. Today, our experts give insights on the benefits of cloud strategies and software security. Let me introduce our speakers. Felix Michler, Head of Sales and Marketing. He studied business administration with focus on e-business. He has a deep understanding in planned process management. Felix, would you like to say a few words?
Of course, yeah. Hello, everyone, and warm welcome. And thank you for a nice introduction. I'm happy that we are discussing this very exciting topic today. And I'm very much looking forward to also share some of my experience on cloud solutions, especially in the process industry with you today.
Thank you. Simon Günther is IT security specialist at eschbach. Simon wrote several interesting publications on software and cloud security. He knows what can go wrong and how to prevent security issues. Simon, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So I've been working with eschbach since 2018, and in my current position as an IT security specialist, I'm co-responsible for implementing and maintaining the company's security protocols and procedures, particularly to the cloud. And in addition to that, I also wrote a white paper on software supply chain attacks last year, which is also relevant to the topic of the cloud security and especially choosing the right provider. And yeah, today I'm excited to share some insights into our cloud security.
Thank you, both of you. All participants have the option to raise questions via the Q&A box. You can find it at the top of your Teams window. We try to answer all questions at the end of this webinar.
Yeah, perfect. And let's kick it off. And I'm pretty sure you all remember the most famous cell phone, which was there on the market like 20 years ago. The market leader for cell phones at that time launched it back in 1992. They really had a strong market position and did not worry further about it. But the bitter reality really looked different. While the market leader was still improving their standard cell phones, the competition was slowly conquering the market. The smartphone was introduced and it had new aspects towards the cell phone. It was more an entertainment tool. And so everyone wanted to have one of these new devices. So the previous market leader was left behind and could not longer compensate for the last loss which they had.
But what has this to do with our current market situation?
It's a good question, and we do not want to raise any fear here with this comparison for our customers in the market. But in the business world, it's always about being up to date and ideally really staying ahead of the game. Yet in the process industry, data and information are not properly used and shared in many plants. In the age of big data and constant innovation, companies around the world are under extreme pressure to adapt. For this reason, new solutions are no longer a nice to have, but a must have. So don't miss the opportunity as the cell phone provider did in our example. Our world is spinning faster and faster, and long-term plans are quickly becoming obsolete. There's also a lot of uncertainty in the process industry, and companies often need to set new goals, but also commit on strategic approaches. It takes adaptive systems and agile processes to really meet these challenges. Let's have a look at a real example and really current example. It's about managing the energy consumption of a plant. So shift workers and management must really decide real quickly where energy consumption can be improved, how high the cost of energy consumption will be, and how production will remain profitable. They even need to consider how production could continue if the energy supply would be interrupted or even stopped. Systems can provide the data and information that operators need to make to make the best possible decisions. The machine-assisted operator, how we call it, he has the full picture. He doesn't waste time on searching through paperwork and Excel files.
Sounds easy, but we need an Industry 5.0 solution, right?
That's exactly what you need, but that's not all. Technology continues to change rapidly. As we see on this slide, industrial change is happening much faster than 100 years ago. It all started with mechanization and steam power in the 18th century. It took over 60 years for the next revolution to start. In the early 2000s, the Internet of Things became a big topic. And just 20 years later, we are now talking about cobots, artificial intelligence, and systems adapted to humans. It's getting hard for IT departments to really keep pace. And I'm pretty sure that you all have some ambitious digitization initiatives also in your companies. And you should make the most of your investment in technology. Without a cloud solution, these projects will definitely become more costly and time consuming. So this is basically your first option. To stay competitive, you need a strong backbone and you need to train your IT departments in order to ensure data-driven production. The second option, and to be honest, ultimately the much cheaper one, is to take full advantage of a cloud solution. If you want to keep up, you need an agile solution that automatically keeps you on the cutting edge of technology. That's what a cloud solution enables. Create the basis for future digitization projects. The cloud helps you to stay one step ahead. Let's have a look on that slide here. So on the left-hand side, we see it in the diagram, what your IT team does if you have an on-premise hosting. The frequency of changes makes it difficult for your IT. They need to know and manage the entire and ever-changing infrastructure. Most of the time, companies don't have the expertise and components to do so. On the right side, you see a SaaS solution. In this case, the software providers take care of basically everything for you. In this way, working in the cloud allows companies to focus less on technical aspects and more on the core tasks of their business. This saves companies time and resources.
To be honest, I'm not convinced. What if people trust their own IT team more than an external service provider?
Good question. We can show that to you in detail. We've heard that the industry is spinning faster and faster. The change from the Industry 4 to Industry 5 has been a tremendous pace. In addition, the last few years have brought further challenges with the pandemics and the current energy crisis. Therefore, the term VUCA, which stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, was become established.
Talking about volatility, how does the cloud support your shift team in this regard?
Well, the cloud guarantees you the highest uptime of your software applications and data. Companies that use real-time data from the cloud become more resilient and smarter.
How can they get there?
In the process industries, plants that operate continuously involve regular shift handovers between operators. Operators need to be able to access and expand on the same information, and shift supervisors need to be able to access the plant status at any time and from any location. Because this communication is so critical for a safe plant operation, it is especially important that software solutions are always available. The result is a transparent, clear, and seamless high-performance infrastructure and an excellent exchange of information. Your data is always available and structured in such a way that you can access it easily and as spontaneously as necessary.
Okay, what does this look like? What can I expect?
Well, imagine a chemical plant. You had to shift your source of energy now from gas to oil from one day to another. Your machines cannot handle the change and you struggle to find the actual failure for it. The historical data in your system tells you to raise the temperature of the engine, and it was solving the problem already in the past, and finally it works. This is just one example of what technology can really do for you and how it can support you. So what you need is your systems and process relevant data, even from your historical data, available at the right time. With a software solution that is highly efficient, up to date, and draws on a secure real-time database, companies benefit from an exceptional response time.
What is the average uptime on a cloud solution?
Good question, and it's very important. And we experience with our cloud solution an uptime average of more than 99.9%.
Okay, sounds good. But how can a cloud strategy help with uncertain circumstances?
Well, the answer on this is an agile solution. Imagine a pharmaceutical plant now. From one day to another, you need to maximize the manufacturing of the brand new product, so to say, game changer in the market. You need as soon as possible a new production line up and running. Maybe you need new team members onboarded, different data, and you might have different requirements for your existing systems. With a cloud-based software, plants are always at the cutting edge of technology and get updates, additional modules, and the best features securely from the cloud. You can scale at any time. Sometimes you need more resources, sometimes less. With the right information, shift teams get empowered as fast as possible. You can easily get them up and running on your software solutions, and so they can really concentrate on the actual production, which is their main purpose.
The processes in manufacturing have always been complex. I heard it takes on average about 5 years of experience in manufacturing before you might become a shift supervisor on night shift. And VUCA makes it even more complicated. Where is the time leading us?
Oh, have you heard about AR, VR, digital twins, and AI in manufacturing?
Yes, but I would not be sure what to include in my strategic plan first.
And do you think that the IT departments of the big players in the chemical and pharmaceutical industry are best prepared for all of these new things coming up?
To be honest, I don't know.
As I've already explained, tasks really can become huge. You might need support from external experts on that journey. Professional vendors can secure your infrastructure and look for all the things you don't have time for.
Sounds expensive.
And I can tell you it's not. Look at this chart. You can see two icebergs. One with a lot of hidden costs below the surface for your IT personnel, monitoring, fault diagnosis, maintenance, and all those things. And another one on the right side, which has less cost below the surface. Keeping IT up to date is more expensive if you do it on your own. With a cloud solution, companies do not have to invest in the purchase and maintenance of systems, but can fall back on the resources of a provider. So if you look at the total cost of ownership, SaaS is at the end often the cheaper option. The costs for the operation of the infrastructure are also reduced, and you can see this really cool in this iceberg comparison, which we are seeing here.
How can a company make processes clear and get away from ambitious situations?
Well, the answer on this is continuous improvement, I think, which is the common pattern also in the process industry. So with every update of a cloud solution, you get new benefits, new models. In cooperation with leading companies in the process industry, your software can be continuously developed as well. Open paths enable benefits for cloud native technologies. You can get artificial intelligence and machine learning, for example. This shows that companies using cloud solutions are taking benefit of the most modern and up-to-date technological standards. Smart technology and intelligence can help your shift team to find the right solutions. With AI, you gain a huge advantage.
But do we really need this?
Well, nowadays it's simply no longer sufficient to rely, for example, on simple searches. The amount of data, the flow of information, and the process landscapes are just too complex for this. When a machine fails, it's common for shift teams to perform the standard reset and troubleshooting procedures, for example. But when more experienced production staff arrive, their knowledge really provides the, let's say, essential context. AI can map your data and can provide solutions. And with every data inserted into the tool, the knowledge of your software actually grows. It is important to know that humans will never be replaced by machines. Only humans can take care of processes and make decisions. We need their creativity, their mindset, and their logic. Where machines can help is in retrieving the right information much faster just to support them. And basically, where do we find AI and other smart technologies nowadays?
I guess in the cloud?
And that's absolutely right. The cloud makes your operation stronger every day. You can grow with it and reach the next level of manufacturing.
Thank you for the explanation. I see that especially in times of crisis, digital solutions are needed to make better predictions. But still, how secure is my data on an external server? Simon, how do you at eschbach handle cloud security?
Well, that's a good question. So especially in today's interconnected world and the threat landscape, it's more important than ever to consider this before moving to a cloud. And the cloud must be built on a very secure foundation, which has to contain several key components. But of course, the big question is, what are those components? So let's explore them. First and foremost, a secure architecture must be achieved. So both in the software itself, but also in the underlying network and the overall infrastructure. So this covers topics from DevSecOps with threat modeling practices till network isolation, firewalls, data encryption, and other relevant topics. Certification is another critical element, so it's essential to work with a trusted partner, and we are proud to be ISO 27001 and ISO 9001 certified. These certifications show that our systems meet industry standards and we're audited by an external party. Another very crucial topic is the availability and monitoring. So the cloud systems need to be robust with corresponding backup and disaster recovery plans in place. And if something happens, it's important to have an effective monitoring in place to detect any downtime, anomaly, or security incidents. And speaking of security incidents, there, of course, also comes the incident management, so cloud